So the question is, how can you believe in your goal, in your desire, against all odds, even if your circumstances don't show you any evidence that it is possible and that you can believe this right now? How can you still obtain this complete belief that it is possible, that you already are, that you already have received your desire? That is what we're going to cover right now, how to obtain complete belief. So with that, let's just dive in. And first of all, I want to make some key points here, and this is very important. You have to understand this, because it is totally fine if right now you can't believe, right? It's no requirement in order for you to shift states that you first need to believe that it's possible, right? You don't need and mostly can't believe right now. So to give you some examples, right? Someone that's, completely in an illness state right now, for them, the state that they're in seems absolute. So within their state, within their current, experiences, when they lose themselves in the state, they can't believe that it can also be fully healthy, because in that state they can't have the belief that they can be fully healthy. Or someone that is right now lonely, not in the desired relationship, not in a relationship, right? Not in with the desired person, not having the relationship circumstances. They maybe right now can't believe out of that state that they can have this. Or someone that's lacking finances, right? How can this person in that state, they can't believe in that one state that they can have this. So this is important to understand, that it is okay if right now you can't believe. You don't need to, it's not a requirement to start the manifestation process. It's not a requirement for you to shift states. First of all, you have to believe that it's possible, and now you can start shifting. Even if you even can't believe that it's possible right now, the fact alone that you have the desire for it, the fact alone that, this desire arose within you. What is a desire? A desire is basically a currently unoccupied state, because if you occupy it and live in that state and see the world from that state, it no longer is a desire. So, meaning also that desired unoccupied state is a state you can occupy. So therefore that state exists. So therefore, whatever you do desire, even if right now you can't believe it, still it exists and is possible. But my first point here is that if right now you can't believe that you can have this, that you can be this, that this is possible for you, this is okay. Don't let this be a setback for you, that, I can't believe it. Well, okay, guess what? I can't manifest it. I can't go into the manifestation process. No, that's not the case. It's not a requirement. So it's not that you first need to believe before you can start to shift into the wish fulfilled state, right? And like I said, you don't need to believe, and mostly you can't believe out of your current state. Someone that's completely ill, how can they believe that they can be fully healthy? Because in their state, it seems absolute for them. But we, of course, know that no state is ever final. It's ever absolute, because we can leave it by occupying a new state and therefore die, quote unquote, die to the old state. So it's okay if you can't believe right now. You don't need to believe right now, but still believing that you have received it, right? Like the secret of manifestation, believe you have received, and then you will. Belief plays a role, and we want to be in the state of knowing and believing and having this complete faith. And I also made an entire video on this. I will link this one above right now. Believe you have received and you will. So the question is still, how can we believe in something that's right now unbelievable? Now, the second point is this, right? You can't rationally, with your rational mind, bring yourself to believe in your desire, because the mind is bound to the senses. So for your mind, it will be hard to believe in something that it has never experienced before, that it has not experienced in a very long time, and that is right now not in front of you, because it is so focused, it is so connected, so tied to the senses, to what is right now there. So you can't rely, of course, on what is right now there, because then if you would do that, you would keep yourself very limited. So don't rely on the mind. Don't force the mind to believe it right now. I will tell you how also the mind will start to believe it, but it's not that you can bring yourself to this belief by looking, what I've experienced previously in my life, what is right now in my world, is this possible? The mind will probably say no, because again, it has no reason to believe it, because everyone in your world tells you opposite. So that's also not the way. So again, the question is how to attain this faith, this belief, this knowing. But how can you really believe that, of course, it's possible? Of course, it's already who I am. Of course, it's already what I have in my world. And the answer is very simple. And I will also translate it and explain it in very many different angles so that you can connect to that answer. So how can you obtain belief? By imagining a scene that implies your desire is fulfilled, or by entering the state of the wish fulfilled via your preferred way of shifting. And we can ask ourselves the question, what would it be like would it be true? Right? Not, oh yeah, I need to believe this right now, and but I can't believe. No. Calm the rational mind. If this would be possible, it is possible, of course, but if it would be possible just to calm the rational mind, what would it be like? Would I already be in that state? Would I already have achieved it? So that's also an easy way to start believing, by dwelling in that end state. So this is already kind of like the answer is that your faith, right? Faith in the unseen, your belief in the unseen is a consequence of you dwelling in that state long enough until it becomes natural, of you having that imaginative experience, that scene, that congratulation, that experience in front of your mind's eye that implies to you that you are now who you want to be, that you have now achieved your goal. By repeating that and dwelling on that end state, therefore, and anchoring yourself in it again and again, and filling up your inner space, your inner world with that state, you start to become convinced. So it's not a requirement, it's a consequence, the belief. It's a consequence of having shifted again and again and again to the end state. And this is not effort, because what is there better than in the here now moment internally experience the wish fulfilled, which you can do, right? So let's talk about this. Again, how to attain the belief. One way, of course, one great way that Neville Goddard always pointed out is when we start to imagine a scene, right? A little event, a 3-second, 5-second scene that we believe we would encounter if we already have our goal. So you want to manifest a car. Well, if you have the car, maybe you would put your car keys on your shelf. And that would imply that right now you have already that car. You don't need to see the car. It's a scene afterwards, right? You placing your car keys, or someone congratulates you, asks you for a test ride, whatever. Or you want a relationship, right? It does not need to be that you see the person in front of you. It could also be that, someone in your family congratulates you on right now being in that relationship. And right now, maybe you can't believe that you can have this because there's no proof for it. But by you experiencing that through your imagination, in your inner reality, right? You basically awaken that mood in yourself, and dwelling on that mood of the wish fulfilled again and again and again, it will seem believable. You will seem convinced that it is actually true. So the belief and the faith and the knowing is a consequence of the subjective unseen experience, of the internal experience. And if imagining is seen, if you don't like that, if that's difficult for you, which I would recommend you practice that, you play with that, because it is very, very, very powerful. And Neville pointed out this approach very often. Of course, you can also enter the state of the wish fulfilled via any other technique, right? By just stating it, by playing with I remember when, by just giving thanks for having relieved and awaken that fulfilled mood in you that it is already done. Or one of my favorite ways also is, again, by playing and toying with this question, what would it be like? Would it be true? Right? What would it be like? Would it be true? What would it feel like if right now, if I give myself permission to allow that mood to be there? Because sometimes we conditioned ourselves to, no longer even allowing us to feel that because we are so limited by the external world. No, if I actually could have this, what would it be like? And then you will see a mood arises in you. So catch that, dwell on that, make that your habitual dwelling place, make that natural for you, and then you see that it will become very believable, but not because you try to force yourself in your current state to believe it. No, because you let things as they are right now, and within you started to awaken that mood more and more and more, and then the consequence is that you actually start to believe it because you experience it in you. You experience it in your imagination. You know that it is done. You know that it's real. You know that it exists because you dwell on that state, and not because you try to force yourself to believe it out of the state which has no proof for it. So the belief is the consequence. And also what is very important here is that you imagine, aka you make the inner movement, right? Imagination is like the inner movement or the inner experiences of hearing things, experiencing things that imply certain states to you, that you do that for the sake of being and having it right now, not to get it. Why is this such a crucial difference that so many people overlook and don't follow? Because the mirror of life, right, your circumstances, we know from the teachings, we know from Neville's teachings that they always reflect back, they can only confirm what is now natural within us. So life always gives you what you are, not what you want. That's the answer, because if you still want, you're still in this, I'm doing this inner stuff to get it in my reality, what will the mirror show you back? It will show you back more trying. More of it is not here yet. So therefore, within we want to be fully in the end state, out of which we will, of course, also believe that it's possible. And then our mirror of life can confirm that, okay, you see yourself as a financially abundant person, you feel yourself, you know that you're a successful business owner, you know that you have achieved certain money goals. This is already happened for you. You already are that. Your life will confirm it through your circumstances. You know that you're already happily partnered. You know that you're already in this relationship, right? You are this already within. It's already certain and natural to you. Your life will give you that in form of new circumstances. People will act differently, come into your life, come in again into your life, play their role to mirror back who you are within, right? So do this inner shift, not to wait for something, but to be it right now, not to wait for something in the future. This is a very crucial difference. And also something very important is that you can only expand your limits of belief through your imagination, aka through shifting into a new state. So how can you right now, if you are in a state of, making X amount per month, how can you right now believe that you can make 10x of that? You have not really a reason to believe that, right? You have not really a evidence for that, right? So your rational mind is like, maybe I can double it. That would already be good. But you will ever and only expand your limits of belief through imagining, right? Not through your rational mind. Your limits of belief are tied to your current state. So from your current state, you can believe this, and that, this, and that, but not something that's out of your current state. You can't believe right now that you can make 1 million a month. You probably can't believe that right now. As an example, maybe some of you listening to this, you can, but most people probably won't. But that doesn't mean that this is not possible. That doesn't mean that people out there are not doing that. Of course, there are people out there doing that. If you would dwell, I'm just making this, drastic example right now for you to get this. Because if you would dwell in that, let's just say millionaire state or making that, then at some point you can make also that natural and start to believe that, of course, is possible. Whereas from your current state, it seems impossible. So you see, the result of dwelling in the desired state, the result of entering the desired room, basically, and staying in that room until you feel comfortable in that room, as a metaphor for this new identity, this new state, the result of that is that you also start to believe and expand your limits of belief. But your limits of beliefs will always be bound and tied to your current state. So return back to the imaginative internal experience, and you'll reach the point of satisfaction, right? So at some point, if you have a best friend congratulating you on now having achieved your goal, and you hear it, you listen until you hear it, you really listen, and at some point it becomes natural to you. At some point you wonder, why is this friend even congratulating me? I already know this. I already believe that this is true for me. Then you'll be satisfied. So always drill back in the end. And you fall out of it, catch yourself. You need awareness for that, self-awareness for that. And then when you caught yourself having reacted in a way that is not in alignment with the wish fulfilled, or that you still desire again, maneuver consciously back and see the world again from the end. Think again from the end, right? See the world again from the state of the wish fulfilled. And then at some point you reach a point of naturalness, of satisfaction, where you have attained this belief. So the conclusion is, by dwelling in the wish fulfilled long enough, not ling enough, sorry for the spelling mistake, but by dwelling in the wish fulfilled state, right, long enough, you will start to believe and be convinced about this unseen reality. Still, this is an unseen reality for the world, but through your subjective experience of that unseen state, of that unseen mood and state or imaginative experience that implies something for you, you will start to believe. So don't think that you need to believe right now. It's not a requirement. It's a result. It's a byproduct of you shifting again and again and again in the end state until you are convinced and until it starts to feel natural for you. So the belief is a consequence, not a requirement. And it's okay if right now you can't believe. Like I said at the first slide, it's not a problem if right now you can't believe. Chill. That doesn't mean that it's not possible for you. If you see the world constantly, again, from the end state, from having achieved the goal, and you fill up your inner space, your inner world, your imagination with a scene that implies you have it, which therefore anchors you in that state, or with this question, what would it be like, or if any other technique you like and that resonates with you, you will obtain this belief as a result of dwelling in that state long enough. All right? So this is very important. Please let me know your feedback in the comments down below, because I would like to hear if that made sense, if that is helpful, if you can start to live after this paradigm, so to speak, on believing. If you have any questions, also let me know in the comments. And if you need any help, I have 2 main resources. One is my free masterclass, at the same time my newsletter, where you get notified when I upload new videos, and also where I tell you how to shift, what is important, mistakes that people do, and of course you have the opportunity to work with me after this free masterclass. And if at some point you say, okay, yes, I want to work with you, you want to be part of my exclusive program, you want to have a private community, you want weekly coaching calls, private one-on-one calls, a structured system, right? An online academy guiding you and leading you through all of these principles so that it makes sense, that you can apply them in your life, then just book a call with someone from me or my team. We will welcome you. We will ask you some questions to see who you are. We will give you a game plan, and we can then talk about the program and simply see if you like that, if you're a good fit for that, if we can help you with your situation. And if yes, we tell you more about the program. If no, you can continue to learn for free on YouTube, right? So it's completely up to you. That's just so you know that I can help you to apply these principles and shift into a desired state, manifest your goals, live more peacefully. That is what I do. And I look forward to speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.